and welcome to 42 Wrestling. We're here today in Bar 42 and we're joined with here Niall and British heavyweight Crusher Curtis. Thanks for joining us, Crusher.
It's my pleasure. I was in the area and I couldn't be bothered to do anything else.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
No worries.
So for people that don't know you, just tell us a bit about yourself. When did you start? How long have you been punching people in the face, basically?
I've been punching people in the face since I left the womb. In wrestling, I've probably been doing it for about 6-7 years. And for those who don't know, what have you been doing? I'm probably the most hated person on the British wrestling circuit because I tend to speak my mind, and that's not necessarily a good thing. It's Crusher Curtis, and I don't care.
So you've been wrestling for that long. What are your sort of main territories? Like, do you travel up north? Do you wrestle mostly on the southern coast?
Everywhere. Been international, been all up and down the country. Pretty much if you're going to pay me to beat someone up, I'm going to turn up as long as you pay my exes.
Is that on the private as well? Or is that just for shows?
I've done a lot of very bad things. I'm not just a bad man, I'm the bad man. I keep telling people this.
I hope you don't get on his bad side then.
No, I'm sure we won't.
We're decent.
Yeah,
I've only got a bad side, so you're already on it.
Oh, that's good.
So you're like Santa, but just...
Get on with it.
You're like Santa, but just for beating people up.
Pretty much.
You only have a naughty list, not a nice list.
There you go.
If there was one person on your nice list, who would it be?
If there was one person on my nice list,
one person.
The promoter, because he pays me my wages.
Alright, tag team partners or anything? Nothing like
No,
that?
I got plenty of people that want to tag with me, but as soon as I start getting too told off so much, then they don't want to tag with me anymore. So I excommunicate myself. We'll just leave it at that.
Alright, fair enough. So you wrestled internationally, you said. Whereabouts did you wrestle? Any majorly big shows?
I've been to America, I've been to Germany, been to... Where did I go recently? I want to say Sweden, Switzerland, probably Switzerland.
Okay.
Swat, it had a SWAT in the name.
Okay.
But yeah, for the short amount of time that I have been wrestling, I've probably been very lucky. But yeah, America was a big one for me. That was early on, and I got to kick the living guts out of Flip Gordon on his home territory. That was quite fun.
Alright. I assume that was before he got into the elite stuff and he was on Japan and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that was just before then, because we beat the absolute tar out of each other and I loved it.
So you're saying the reason Flip Gordon's in Japan because you beat him up so badly he ran away?
It's probably because I didn't beat him up so badly, because I have had the pleasure of hurting a lot of rotten wrestlers over my time, and I'm proud of that.
Oh, how badly?
I love my job. I can't help it. I get to punch people in the face for money.
Yeah.
I don't see a downside to it, and I don't get arrested for it too much.
Yeah. So not a boxer, wrestler. Why wrestling? Why not boxing? Why not? If you like punching people in the face so much, why not MMA? Why not boxing? Why wrestling?
Because I'll get told off. No one will want to use me. If I jump in an MMA ring and I fight for real, which is what I can do, I can't get away with the same stuff in wrestling that I'll do in MMA. Because I'll beat the granny out of you, and then when the ref comes over and says, game over, I punch the ref, I'm ending up getting $5 grand, 50 grand, however much grand fine. So just like beating people up. I mean, I love it.
Wrestling's a bit...
Can't help it.
Yeah, wrestling's a bit more of a leeway. You can get away with a bit more...
well,
referees in wrestling tend to not be as good as the referees in boxing and stuff.
They like to call it fake, which is why I get away with a lot of things. Because when I beat people up, people then go, oh, that's all right, it's only a show. But I beat people up for money. And I love it.
Okay. You had a question for him because he's kind of scaring me right now.
That's the truth right now. I'm laying some truth on you. I can't help it. I love it.
Would you ever consider going to Japan or something like that? Totally different style over there.
I've spoken to a few people about Japan. The tattoos are a problem for guys. In the ring, it's okay. Outside the ring, you kind of have to cover up. But if I upset the wrong person in Japan, I don't think I'll be coming home, because a lot of shows over there, their audiences are quite brutal, and
That's what you like, though, isn't it?
yeah, like I love it when Stan Hansen and Vader and people like that just go through the crowd and people start getting pinged left, right, and centre. I think nowadays I'd probably get told off for that. But this is kind of the reason why people don't give me a job over here, is because I get told off quite a lot.
So do you ever have trouble getting booked over here then, because people are just too scared to book you?
I have the kind of, I like to beat up the talent, and people tend not to book me back, kind of thing. It's like, oh, Crusher, we want you to come. Cool, yeah, no problem. And then I go there, and then Captain Blue Eye then goes crying off to the promoter and says, oh, he's a bit stiff, and then I get told off because they've just had a punch in the mouth. Well, if you don't like a punch in the mouth, go and play bingo or darts or snooker. Don't get in the ring with me. It's simple.
Yeah, you've been wrestling for so long. What are some of your favourite people to punch in the face? Who is the most famous person you've punched in the face? Who are some of your most favourite people to punch in the face? Because I think I know one of the answers.
one of my favourites and most famous is probably Sabu. Me and him beat the absolute granny out of each other. And despite Sabu's reputation, he's actually a really nice guy. But he's kind of, I'd compare him to like an old aging guard dog, do you know what I mean? Like, it's friendly at first, but as soon as it goes work time, it's still got one hell of a bite. And he beat the absolute snot out of me. But I got to beat the absolute snot out of Sabu, so it works both ways. Some of my favourites, the Bulk, the UK Pitbulls.
Big Mike Bulk.
Big Mike Bulk. I love punching his big, bulbous, ugly looking head, because I can punch it as hard as I can, and he's got a cabbage head just like I have. So I don't have to worry about him falling down so much. So I can hit him as hard as I like, and I don't have to kind of prop him up a little bit, because he's like 40 stone or whatever. He just leans in the corner and lets me lever him. Well, not so much lets me. If he moves, I'm going to lever him back in the corner. Alan Lee Travis is always a good one in LDN. He takes an absolute hiding, bless his cotton socks. Andy Simmons is probably my second favourite to beat up, just because he's the guy who taught me how to wrestle. And nothing pleases me more than we'll go for a lock-up, I'll just absolute smash him with a shot, and he falls on the floor, looks at me, and then realises what he's done. He's actually in the ring and we're having a fight now. Flatliner for me has got to be my favourite person to beat that absolute granny out of. And I'm proud to say that I've knocked his teeth out. I've chipped his front teeth.
It's on camera.
He shows people that, and he's never let it go. But again, if you don't want to get punched in the face, don't book me. I'm not some pink and fluffy namby-pamby heel that's going to get booked because he's all cuddly. I'm going to get in the ring and punch you in the face. There's no two ways about it. Simple.
I think with that statement, we'll end part 1 of this video. Please join us again in part 2, where we talk more with Crusher and ask him some fan questions.
I can't help it.
I'm scared.